Townley and Villapoto. Teammates who let each other know it's going to be a long summer. Second overall wasn't what Villapoto was looking for, but a four-way battle for the lead delighted the sun-drenched California crowd. Another first-time winner in AMA Motocross Lights, Ben Townley, the Kiwi, the contender. Welcome to round two of the 2007 AMA Toyota Motocross Championship presented by FMF. This is the 31st annual Monster Energy Kawasaki High Point National. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside multi-time national champion Jeff Emig. Aaron Bates working with us as well down in the pit area. This is also round one of the Monster Energy Kawasaki Triple Crown of Motocross. Any rider in each class who sweeps High Point, Red Bud, and Steel City will be awarded a $25,000 cash bonus. Top privateer payouts, too, and a Kawasaki pit bike in each round will be given away to a spectator. Jeff, as you saw from the weather, pretty warm day here.
Oh, I love coming to Mount Morris. Weather is great this year. I think all these guys are going to have a really good time. It's just such a great event being the start of summer and really kicks off this motocross championship.
And after Hangtown, we got a great battle at the top of the points. And last week in Sacramento, California, it was a wild season opener in the lights class.
Well, Ryan Villapoto, you take a look right here, number one, was definitely the favorite. The first moto, he was just on the gas and had the lead, fell down, came back and passed the other three leaders. Really showed his dominance, but the second moto was a different story.
It really looked like after moto number one that it was going to be a long year for anybody trying to catch Villapoto. However, Townley on the 101 bike came out in moto number two and really showed he has some speed.
Well, he's definitely here, and he wants this championship as bad as anyone.
Afterwards, we talked to him about that first victory.
I got out there this week and worked hard, and you know, it's going to be a long season, you know, so I just got to make sure I'm ready every round. And I really like this track, you know, it's a nice track. I enjoyed sort of riding it for the first time, and I think that I'm going to do well. You know, it's quite technical out there. It's fast this morning, but it's getting rougher, and yeah, just trying to keep that momentum going. You know, it was good to get the first one out of the way and sort of know where we're at, so I'm looking forward to it.
Jason Lawrence rode very well on his 338 last week in Hangtown, but during the practice sessions, he got into some on-track scuffles with Ryan Villapoto, and it cost Jason. He's on probation. We talked about how it's going to affect him.
I don't know. I think about being on probation a little bit when I'm off the track, you know, trying to stay out of trouble, but once you're on the track, it totally goes out of your mind. You know, I'm still the same rider out there, and still going to do the same things, just got to stay away from Villapoto. I think I'm coming here, you know, with a little something to prove. Last weekend with the gate pick, all that problem. I'm just going to try and win the race, you know, show everyone how I could have done last weekend if I had a good gate pick.
Jeff, he gets that good gate pick, he might have something for these guys. He was real quick last week.
Well, I think he will, and again this week, like our new qualifying schedule is that off of your lap time in qualifying practice, fastest lap time gets first gate pick.
Frustrations from Brent Metcalf. He's dealing with a broken thumb.
Yeah, bad emotions. Really disappointed. Put so much work into it, and just a silly mistake, and it's all gone. So, you know, hopefully it'll be 5-6 weeks, and I'll be back.
Just about set to go racing with Tommy Hahn. Here's Aaron Bates with the Progressive Direct pre-race report.
Well, guys, you want to keep your eye on the number 75 of Brock Tickle behind me. If you noticed last weekend at Hangtown, he got an 8th overall, and he said he wasn't quite overall impressed with that. He's looking for a top 5 finish, but today we had to keep our eye on him because initially when he came in, we noticed that his qualifying lap time was a 1/2 tenth slower than Ricky Carmichael's fastest lap time was. Brock's coming out here. He's got high expectations. He said he got the first race butterflies out of the way, and expect to see him up on the podium later this afternoon.
Well, and the interesting thing about Brock Tickle here, you see his fast lap of 1:57.3 was that he actually set that lap, Ralph, on the second lap of the first practice on a Sunday morning here. So track was smooth, track was perfect, and he took advantage of that.
40 riders will be in the gate. We'll have 2 motos. It'll be 30 minutes plus 2 laps each. Top 20 riders in each moto scoring points. The highest point total after both those motos will be our overall winner of the weekend here at High Point. Getting set to get underway with Moto number 1, and Brock Tickle, the story coming into it. But now Jason Lawrence with a much better gate pick. You think he can do something with it this week?
Well, I definitely think so. He earned his stripes last week coming through the pack and had to pass upwards of 35 guys each moto. So definitely a good gate pick. Good start's going to help him out here today.
And, of course, we have the continuing battle of the Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki team, Ben Townley and Ryan Villapoto, when we come back to High Point from Moto number 1.
What's the best thing about this book?
Welcome back to Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, nearby Morgantown, West Virginia. That's the house Jerry West built. You a big basketball guy, aren't you, Fro?
Well, if you look down on the screen just to the right, there's a little basketball court in the park. All the motocross guys used to play some ball there on Saturdays.
Did you have much of a jump shot?
No, not at all.
No game, huh?
Yeah.
Ricky Renner with the helmet cam for us, our Honda helmet cam, as we get set to drop the gate on Moto 1. Renner gets forced way to the outside.
We have one of the Pro Circuit guys now, Ben Townley.
And it looks like it's going to be Ryan Dungey on the Makita Suzuki getting the progressive direct hole shot.
And that's how you want to start today right there. There's a lot of roost here comes off the bike as we have a couple of guys going down. Oh, and Josh Grant takes the lead straight away.
Grant on the Honda coming up to take the early lead away from Dungey. Boy, Ben Townley got a horrible start, Jeff. He's buried all the way back at the tail end of the pack as Martin Davalos has moved himself to third on the Red Bull KTM. Let's go back and take a look at progressive direct hole shot replay.
As you see right here, the 58 of Josh Hill on the inside just gets inched out. And Townley on the right side of your screen goes down. Pretty good chance that he's front brake might have got caught on another rider. Front wheel got caught in the foot peg. We'll have to find out what happened to him.
This is a pass for the lead. Oh, but look at that. That's Zach Osborne going over the bar.
Just got catapulted there through the rollers. Looks like he's up on both feet, though, and he'll be all right.
Meanwhile, we go back to the front here. Dungey still chasing Grant as the rest of the field comes charging down the hill, including Robbie Canary.
And there's so many lines in this track. You can see how deep the rut's there on the inside. And Ralph, what you have to do here at Mount Morris is you have to have proper balance, and you have to be very patient going through the ruts and the turns. You don't want to cut out too early. And some of the turns have like a double or a triple turn in it, where it's just not one constant arc. So a lot of balance there on the pegs and being very patient.
There's a look at Villapoto, the winner of Moto number 1 just a week ago at Hangtown. Tied for the points lead here in the Motocross Lights class. And the man he's tied with, his teammate Ben Townley, way back in the field. So this could be a huge advantage this weekend for Villapoto.
Well, he might get a signal from the team or from his personal mechanic that Townley's out, but more than likely they're just going to be giving him signals, giving him encouragement, and what he knows that he has to do is go get that 25 points for winning the moto and not worry about what's behind him.
Josh Grant on the Honda, running pretty good on the Sobe No Fear Samsung Honda. And there's Jason Lawrence, and right behind him comes Villapoto. Remember, those are the two guys that got together at Hangtown, and that's why Lawrence is on probation.
Well, and there's no doubt in my mind that this summer that's going to play a part in Lawrence's riding on the track, and especially with Villapoto, he's going to have to think twice before he makes an aggressive pass or any sort of rough riding. And this is motocross. Sometimes you have to do that to win, and so that's part of the penalty of this probation.
Grant and Dungey coming down the hill as well as Lawrence, and here's Canary rolling along in 5th, having a good run on his Kawasaki. Problems for Townley. Aaron Bates has more.
Guys, guys, Ben Townley just rode off the track through mechanics area, and as you can see, you're taking a look at his front tire that they had just ended up swapping out, changing. The spokes on it are completely broken. Obviously, that was due to that first start pileup, which was an unfortunate event for Ben Townley.
Well, yeah, just like we've seen there, when Townley went down, there was, like I said, there was a chance that maybe his handlebar got caught, but another thing was that front wheel got caught in the spokes of another rider, ripped him out, and that's what threw him down.
Battle for fifth here in Moto number 1. That's Ryan Villapoto on the Kawasaki with the red number 1 plate, battling with Canary on the 54 Kawasaki. And Canary's got all he can handle with Villapoto right now.
Well, Villapoto's putting out a huge effort right now to get by Canary. Definitely very aggressive here in the beginning part of the moto, but that takes a lot of energy out of you. And then, like we seen last week, it seemed like at the end of the second moto that Villapoto didn't really have the energy that he had at the beginning of the first moto. So right now he needs to try to get past these riders clean like he did right now, save some energy for the second moto because he just may need it.
So Villapoto moves up to fifth. And he'll start chasing after Jason Lawrence now, who's just in front of him. Ricky Renner gives us this view. We're going to go to break, and we're coming right back.
Saturday, get more action, get more adrenaline.
How about that?
Get more racing on speed.
Moto number 1 for round number 2 of the AMA Motocross Series for 2007. Josh Grant took the early lead away from Ryan Dungey and really hasn't been challenged too much, Jeff.
Well, they've been pacing each other and really sticking together. Another rider here, Canary's been having a great ride. Hahn moving up into the 7th position. See a little bit of stadium jumps there, and this is a new section here this year. And it's produced a pass. Canary got passed on the outside there by Villapoto, and now on the inside by Hahn. So it looks like Canary needs to find a new line there.
Tommy Hahn on the factory Honda, and back up front. We watched 1 and 2 go by, and here comes the battle behind them for third. The 73 machine of Jake Weimer on his Sobe No Fear Samsung Honda. Teammate to our race leader holds a position, but Lawrence is closing in.
Weimer's been having some really good rides lately, and a lot of that stems from getting better starts and building his confidence and getting that feeling of belonging, that he belongs up front in these races. And you see Weimer doing the triple step up and Lawrence picking the inside line. They both come out about even. Definitely a fan favorite, that triple step up next to the starting line.
Ben Townley, you might remember, who's tied for the points lead coming into round number 2 with his teammate Villapoto, fell at the start. Here comes Lawrence. Lawrence still working the inside. Now he's got him.
You notice those guys after that jump coming down. That's a really tough off-camber obstacle before those jumps. Really fighting for the traction there.
Now Dundee's starting to close in a little bit on Grant as a battle for the lead picks up. Townley, by the way, has moved up to about 36th.
Well, he's going to need a lot more positions than that if he wants to get any points. You have to be inside the top 20 to gain championship points. Guys that are getting looking at gaining 25 and 22 points for first and second are right here are battling it out. And Grant's had some great starts this season, and I think he's getting a little bit better each race. And I would say the same thing for Ryan Dungey, is that his confidence just keeps growing with each passing moto. And both of these guys looking for the win in moto number 1 here today. And I think that there's a huge opportunity for that, because earlier in the race at Hangtown and last season, you would have seen Villapoto close up on these guys, take that lead. But right now, Grant and Dungey are setting some great lap times, putting out a huge effort. And our number 1 plate champion from last year is nowhere in sight.
Continuing to watch Grant from high above.
That's that triple step up I was talking about, Ralph. And they changed this section here from years past. And you come around this sweeper, and you notice as they're coming through here, they're fighting for that inside groove.
And then we're watching Villapoto challenging Weimer for fourth.
And I tell you, when you're coming around that sweeper there, you see all that loose clay on top. Those things, it's just like getting a shotgun shot out at you. So there's a lot of incentive when you race motocross to if you catch a guy, to get past him quick, because the roost gets on your goggles, you're pulling tear off, you can't see what you're doing. Plus that roost hurts pretty bad.
Well, as we said earlier, Villapoto riding very hard here in Moto number 1. Not wasting much time. Trying to get everybody as quickly as he can. But he catches him, Jeff, but it just seems to take him a little while to get around him.
Well, that's because Weimer is riding well today. He's taking those inside lines. He's guarding and taking the fast line. And so when you're behind, you're trying to search for new lines. You see Villapoto going outside as Weimer was on the inside. Then they close back up. And you see Villapoto going way wide here again, trying to find some momentum.
And the momentum is one of the things he was best at Sacramento. Carried tremendous speed down the hill and made some great passes. Is he going to get it here? Right alongside with Weimer.
Weimer putting up a great fight. Huge effort by both these guys.
The advantage goes back to Jake Weimer. And now Villapoto's going to have to build up another attack.
See those guys kind of doing the Bubba scrub over that, and then it's just a drag race down to the finish line.
Well, the finish of Moto number 1 is still a little bit of a ways away, but the battle here for third is a good one. Here comes Villapoto now. If he can't get the lead on the ground, taking it, or the position in the ground, taking it in the air.
Nice move by Villapoto there. This kid is not afraid to use the outsides and let it all hang out. That's why he's such an exciting rider to watch.
Back to the lead, here's Grant. And as we watch Josh Grant completing another lap, we'll take care of some business and come back to High Point.
Pam Anderson is known for getting...
Welcome back to High Point Raceway. This is Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. Moto number 1 continuing here with the Motocross Lights class today. Round number 2 for the series. There's Ryan Dungey, who has slipped back. He was challenging for the lead. Now he's starting to fall back into the clutches of Jason Lawrence in the blue riding gear on the Yamaha. And this is a battle for second. And pretty soon it's going to be a 3-rider fight for the position as Villapoto is closing in as well on the Kawasaki.
There's no doubt that the new guy here, 62 on the Suzuki, Ryan Dungey, has got some heat. He's got a lot of experience behind him. Both these riders were some of the fastest guys at the opening round, and they're putting some pressure on him today.
Here comes Lawrence. He's got the position away.
Great outside line by Lawrence. That tells me that that inside line at the top of the hill might be getting, that inside rut might be getting a little bit deep. Probably has some huge holes coming out of it. Unable to carry the momentum that you can on the outside. Dungey taking a look over his shoulder right there. That pressure might have got to him. He sees the red number plate with the black number 1. That's last year's Lights Motocross champion. Let's see which rider's going to do the triple step. Dungey goes 2. And so does Villapoto. He sticks to the inside. Knew that he didn't quite have the momentum that he did on the previous laps to get by Weimer.
Well, you said this is a racetrack that takes a lot of patience, and that's one thing Villapoto is showing. He's riding very aggressively, but he's not making a lot of terrible choices when and where to pass. He waits, gets an opening like that, and just continues to work it, and now he's got the position. He's up to third.
Villapoto putting on a huge charge here. Maybe he got that sign from his mechanic on the pit board that the 101 here of Townley is way back out of position and needs that 25 points gain the points lead back in the championship.
But he's inside the top 20, so he's back into the point scoring positions. Now he's up to 13th. Remember, he fell right after the gate drop, went all the way back to 40th, so he's made up a lot of ground already. Now here are the two guys that we saw in a lot of controversy back in Hangtown at the last round, Lawrence and Villapoto. And Lawrence said the one thing he wanted to do was stay away from Villapoto. Well, guess what? Here he is.
And Villapoto gets the inside line, carried that momentum on the outside. Nice move, but these guys are rolling right now. These guys are charging hard.
Well, the best way that Lawrence can make a statement here today is to beat Villapoto, and he's going to have to try to mount a charge back.
Well, as we heard from him earlier, he said he wants that opportunity to be up front, and he thinks that he can win these races. And he's had a pretty good start, but even in this moto, he hasn't been able to catch our leader, Josh Grant, and he's had Villapoto come up from a few positions back and now get by him. It's one of the best tracks that I've seen here at Mount Morris. They had a little bit of rain earlier, day or so ago, and now the track is absolutely perfect today. So much fun riding here. And what I like about it, Ralph, is I like all of the line choices, going down the straightaways, in the turns, how you have to stand on the pegs and balance the bike. And you can move around. There's not just one defined line. There's so many fast lines on the track, and the track changes as the day goes on.
My guess is Josh Grant's enjoying it today. He's got the lead and has had it since just about the time we got this one underway. There he is, the Honda Mounted rider.
Josh Grant got a great chance of winning this first moto here. You see Villapoto's 5 or 6 seconds back. Great ride for Josh Grant here so far.
This is the final lap for moto number 1. Josh Grant trying to get that first moto victory of 2007.
And these riders work so hard to gain the confidence and get the momentum going to win these motos. Huge confidence boost. Team, everybody, the attitude of everyone around the team truck definitely changes after you win these motos like this.
Working his way through those ruts, and they're starting to get a little deep.
Well, and this is only the first moto, but I tell you what, when you're out front right now and got a good lead over the rider with the #1 plate, you don't matter how deep the ruts are, you're loving it.
Checkered flag waiting for Josh Grant. There it is, and he wins his first moto of 2007. And he'll get ready to chase after that elusive overall victory. Grant celebrates a little bit. J.C. Waterhouse congratulates him, and we'll be right back.
Coming soon to Speed.
Do you live and breathe motorcycle racing? Now you can get the latest race results and news right on your phone with weekly green alerts from Speed. Text KX to 77333 on your mobile phone to receive free motorcycle racing text alerts. Green Speed Alerts presented by Kawasaki. That's the Monongahela River, one of the 3 rivers. There's Jason Lawrence. Jason finished third today. Right in front of him was Ryan Villapoto. Here's Aaron.
Some clean racing taking place between Jason Lawrence and Ryan Villapoto. Ryan, you ended up on top there out of that battle. Any concern while you're racing against him?
Not really. Just can't think that he's going to do anything until he does it. So it's not really a big deal. We, I thought that was good, clean racing, and it was fun.
Here's a look at our Toyota results. Dungy dropped all the way back to 4th, Weimer to 5th.
Well, I still think it's great rides for both of those guys, and so excited for Josh Grant to win this first moto.
Here's Jason Lawrence with Aaron.
Jason, a battle all the way down to the very last lap, especially between you and Ryan Villapoto. In the back of your mind, was that probation plane in there at some point?
Yeah, where he got by me was down the hill, and then I kind of squared it up to look for a little pass back, but I'm sure that would have been something that put me on the sideline next week for Southwick.
Well, the guy that got the win was Josh Grant. Now he's standing by with Aaron Bates.
Josh, you came into this second national a little bit more steam than last weekend.
Yeah, I've been working real hard in Florida. I've been just practicing my butt off, and it's paying off. And I'm just going to keep coming up here and trying to get on the podium every weekend and try to stay consistent.
All the riders, including our winner Josh Grant, are AMA members. Are you? If not, call 1-800-AMA-JOIN or visit AMADirectLink.com. AMA, rights, riding, and racing. Now let's race into this week's interview with Ben Townley.
Winning that title was icing on the cake. I didn't expect to do it, so to be able to go out and win 3 races and win a title and coming out of that hole that I was in Atlanta was pretty cool. A professional athlete, it's full time. You're only in this for a certain amount of time, so you can't allow yourself to not be concentrated on it 100% of the time, and I think that's what separates the good riders from great riders and being able to win championships. The biggest sacrifice for me is not to be able to live at home. I've been really lucky to be in a situation where I'm with the Carmichaels and have a great bunch of people around. Biggest sacrifice for me not being able to live in New Zealand. It'll sound funny, but patience, just not letting you get ahead of yourself, basically. He's very methodical, much like I didn't expect as well. He doesn't go out there and jump obstacles that he doesn't think he can do for 20 laps. So when I say, oh, what do you think about this or that, he says, don't even try it. Go out, do your laps, and do what you need to do to win. I don't know, man. It's so hard to put into words. It's you have to be on top of your game by a long ways. To leave New Zealand or Australia and come race over here. The racing's about passion and having fun, and that was what I loved about racing in New Zealand. What I hated about racing in New Zealand, because you couldn't do it as a career or go past that fun aspect of it. As a kid, all I ever did was watch videos of the Nationals and Supercross and through the era of Jeremy and Emick and then obviously into Ricky. Food, just all food, doesn't matter. Love food, just can't get enough of food. Eldon hates it. I was fat when I was a kid, all the way until I turned professional. I was fattest kid ever. I used to eat these things in New Zealand, they're called pies. They're just like, they're little squares of pastry with ground beef in them and a sauce, and I used to eat them every day. I would take money from Mum's purse and I like $2 and buy one of those at school every day. That there is a guilty pleasure if there's any. They're just unbelievable.
Jeff, there's always been a lot of comments about Ricky Carmichael being a pudgy little guy, but boy, Ben Townley certainly was as well.
Well, their trainer, Eldon Baker, has whipped these guys into shape, and they are some of the finest athletes in the world.
Josh Grant looking for another win when we come back.
That is the sound of
in your blood. Well, now you can get all the breaking news, in-depth analysis, and more with the Motorcycle Racing Report, only at SpeedTV.com. Keyword Green, presented by Kawasaki. Well, we got Moto number 2 coming up here shortly from High Point Raceway. Here's Aaron Bates with a Progressive Direct Pre-Race Report.
Well, guys, you notice that the factory Yamaha rider Brock Hepler is still not with us here at the Outdoor Nationals. If you remember, right back before Supercross had started, he had an extremely hard crash, gave himself a pretty serious concussion, missed the entire Supercross season, and is yet to line up. Well, we were able to catch up with Brock a little earlier this afternoon, as it is here in his hometown of Pennsylvania, to find out how his status is and when we can expect to see him back next.
Well, I think hopefully within the next month I'll be out there racing. I'm going to start riding here soon, and I need a little bit of time to get back up to speed and run with the front runners.
What's it like being on the sideline, watching all of your contenders out there racing with you not being in the pack?
It's just a bummer. It's kind of like last year. Last year I didn't do a full season either, so I'm kind of reliving. So the plan is to come back like I did last year and win 3 races in a row. So that would be the goal.
Getting ready for Moto number 2. It looks like Josh Grant again, Jeff.
Great start. That's a guy that wants to win this overall. No doubt about it. Confidence is high here after that first moto win. Dungey once again with another great start in second place. The 101 of Ben Townley up there in third, making good on the second moto start.
Remember in moto number 1, Townley fell, went all the way to 40th, worked his way back to 10th. An impressive ride, but now challenging for a win as he already takes away second place.
And that was 10th. 10th from dead last, almost got lapped. Had to come into the mechanics area, have the front wheel taken off, a spare front wheel put on. So incredible ride by Ben Townley. I think he's going to have something for these guys the second moto.
Here comes Townley's teammate on the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, Ryan Villapoto on the green number 1, dealing with Dungey. Jeff, we've talked a lot about this racetrack here at Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. Tell me a little bit about the consistency of the dirt. What's it like here compared to what we saw in the last round at Hangtown?
Well, it's clay, and we've had quite a bit of moisture on it earlier, but now it's dried out. So underneath, there's a lot of moisture. They've actually worked on the track here for the second moto, smoothed out some of the spots. You can see those lines from the bulldozers. The ruts just got too deep for the racing, and makes the racing a little better, smooth it out, makes takes out some of the tougher sections.
And guys are using up every inch of it too. There's a wide variety of lines. And that's one of the fun things about watching these motocross races. You get some different angles to really see the guys coming down the hillside, fanning out, choosing lines all over the place.
Right through here, you can see how Villapoto's ducking his head. Quite a bit of roost coming off that 250F 4-stroke machine. But right here, Ben Townley, incredible recovery from that first moto. And Villapoto gets really sideways through those rollers. He was on the left side, the inside, which typically has quite a bit more moisture. Up on the high side, it ends up being a little bit drier. Must have caught, some mud, some ruts down in there. But fortunately, strength and conditioning is paying off, and he was strong enough to keep that bike headed in the right direction and stay on it.
Here's one of the good shots from our aerial cam. You can see the different lines everybody choosing. Townley goes in tight through that corner and follows the same line just about through there with Grant.
And the interesting thing you see right there, Grant went to the inside, that makes the turn, it straightens out, makes another turn, so that's like a double apex rut. Some of the most technical parts of motocross.
And Townley for the lead. He's got it. Townley 10th in moto number 1, leading here in moto number 2.
Ben Townley said earlier that he likes this track. He's definitely showing it right now. It's going to be interesting how this plays out. Townley with the 10th, Grant winning the first moto. Villapoto's back in third right now. He needs to get up there past Grant to win this overall.
And here he comes, Villapoto closing in on Grant.
And so this is where the battle's going to be. How bad does Grant want this overall? He has to stay in front of the champ to win it.
Villapoto pushing him hard, and we're coming right back to High Point.
I'm thinking of
an calling the action for you, and Aaron Bates covering everything that takes place down in the pit area here this weekend. This is the battle for second, which might be the battle for the overall win here at Mount Morris this weekend.
Take a look at that section of rollers there. So hard for these 250F machines to actually double through there. It's just like a single. But right here, good section. You see Villapoto tripling out, trying to get some momentum. Cuts back to the inside, but Grant closes the door.
Boy, Villapoto really stepping up the pressure now.
Trying anything that he can. He tries the outside. Oh, and you notice Grant actually goes inside of the track markers. You'll see the yellow stakes coming up. They actually are using the sponsor banners to mark the track there. That's been in the rules a little, but everyone's doing it.
Using every bit of the racetrack and then some.
Well, that's what it takes here in motocross. This is extremely demanding, competitive, sport, and right now these guys are in an all-out battle here to eventually win the war of being the Lights Motocross champion. And right now this is an unbelievable race that we have forming, and Grant putting on one of the best rides that we've ever seen him ride in championship motocross competition.
Filipotto again struggling to find a way by. He's been very patient, Jeff, which is what you said you have to be here, but pretty soon he's going to have to quit being patient and just try to force the issue.
Notice Filipotto trying to come up the inside. Nice move. I didn't think that he had the pass made, but the interesting thing here when we're talking about the overall, you get 25 points for winning the moto, 22 for second. If they finish the same place they are now, Filipotto is going to have a 2-2. That's going to be 44 points. Grant with the 25 and then 20 for the third moto. That's still going to give him the overall. So Filipotto needs to get into the lead to have a chance at winning the overall.
Here's Jason Lawrence. Remember, he finished third. Final spot on the podium in Moto number 1. Struggling to match that here in Moto number 2. And he's got Kyle Cunningham running with him. They're fighting over 10th position right now.
See a bunch of blue bikes lined up. Jason Lawrence running 10th, and our fast qualifier Brock Tickle just in front of him. No problems here for the 24.
Well, I don't know, Ryan Dungey looks like he's a little closer now than he has been.
Well, he definitely is. This being Dungey's 6th national motocross event of his life. Challenging Josh Grant. This is his 4th season in motocross lights competition, so Grant definitely got some pressure from the youngster.
Yeah, remember Dungey only ran a couple of races at the tail end of the year as he made his professional debut and then went into Supercross.
And said that he learned a lot from that. Said he was, came in off being an amateur and said, whoa, these guys are a lot more fit, a lot more aggressive and strong all moto. Looks like he's done a lot of work over the winter time, and we've definitely seen him in Supercross really advance and really become a strong lights rider.
So Dungey continues to hound Grant. We'll take care of some more business and come right back to High Point. Ride with Ricky Renner here at the High Point Raceway in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. This is our Honda onboard camera.
Ricky taking the inside line here. See a little bit of roost on the camera lens there. If you were the rider, you would actually have a tear off, a clear lens on your goggles that you could pull off. Clean that off.
There's our race leader, Ben Townley. Boy, what a difference from Moto number 1 for Townley.
Wow, look how clean he is. The end of the first moto, he's totally muddy. He had to come from last place up to 10th. Right now, he's got the lead at the beginning of the moto, putting in a great ride. The fastest lap times, definitely showing that he is ready and a championship contender this season.
There's Brock Tickle. He's back battling for 7th with Lawrence. Tickle was very fast early on in the weekend. Lawrence looked great in Moto number 1, but has lost a lot of his speed here in Moto number 2.
Well, he said that if he got those good starts that he thought that he could come up and win the moto, but he stayed right inside the top 5, which is a good position as he goes by Tickle on the inside. Nice clean pass there. Great move, and you've seen how he just used that inside, grabbed some traction, handful of throttle, took the position from Tickle fairly easy.
Tickle out of Cary, North Carolina. Jason Lawrence out of New Jersey.
And they meet together here in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania on an awesome day of motocross racing, and an awesome day for Josh Grant, who's looking at right now with a 3rd. That'll be a 1st in the first moto and a 3rd here in the second moto. Opportunity to win his very first motocross lights overall.
And he's really starting to pull away from Dungey. Looked like Ryan was going to maybe challenge him. But all of a sudden, Grant has turned it up a little bit. Maybe that's all that hard work he said he's been putting in that's helping him find that extra energy here late in the moto.
Well, some riders that are going to need extra energy here is Jake Weimer and Jason Lawrence in a really heated battle. This is the end of the day when your hands are tired, your legs are tired, you're starting to get blisters on your feet, your hands, and these guys are battling. Lawrence takes another position.
Lawrence really starting to come up through the pack a little bit.
Well, he's not typically a good starter, so if you're not a good starter, you have to be a good passer. And right now, so far this season, in the Lights Motocross Championship, Lawrence definitely has the most passing points, which account for nothing.
Right. Back to Ben Townley. Final lap, just one to go. And what a difference this lap is from, or this moto, I should say, from the first one. And Townley has really become Mr. Moto number 2 so far this year. It looks like he's going to win the first 2 second motos of the year.
Well, and that tells you that he is the most physically fit, that he is mentally the strongest rider out there. It's going to be a great summer for him.
Just needs to find a way to put in a little bit more together in moto number 1.
See him waving to the crowd here, taking it easy, nice, comfortable. Got a great lead over Villapoto in second.
Here comes Ben Townley. His second moto win of the 2007 season comes in moto number 2 here at Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. We'll come right back to talk to the winner after this.
Saturday, get more action, get more adrenaline.
And by the all-new 2007 Tundra, the truck that's changing it all. Did you miss any AMA racing action? Want to relive the excitement? Watch all the 2007 AMA Supercross and Superbike events on Speed On Demand online. And it's all free, courtesy of Yamaha. So log on now to speedtv.com, keyword Yamaha, and get up to speed. Have you called the AMA yet? What are you waiting for? 1-800-AMA-JOIN or AMADirectLink.com. Protect your right to ride. Let's take a look now at our Toyota Trucks unofficial results from Moto number 2. Once again, Ben Townley puts together a good run in second moto of the day.
Great ride, and another great ride for Josh Grant.
Putting that together with a 10th place in Moto number 1, and that's 3rd overall. Here's Ben.
Taking the win for the second moto, did you expect the day to turn out the way it did?
No, not at all. I'd hoped to take 2 of those first. You know, this straight really suited me. You know, I first time here, and I just had a great time. And in practice yesterday and this morning, I was loving it. And man, I went down on the start in that first one. To get on the podium, you know, is awesome.
Well, as you take a look at our Toyota Trucks overall results with the 1st and the 3rd, Josh Grant has finally got his overall victory. Let's go now to 2nd overall. Here's Ryan Villapoto with Aaron.
Ryan, this battle is coming down to the wire here. A little bit tougher for you. What's it like going up against your teammate?
You know, he's really strong. You know, he works with Eldon and Ricky. So, you know, I knew it was going to be hard coming into the season. It's going to be hard to beat him. And, you know, it's showing. You know, he's riding fast.
Look how happy Josh Grant is, taking off that Liat neck brace. Huge, huge effort here today, taking that overall. That's a great feeling.
And here's a look at the points, and Ryan Villapoto extends his lead over Ben Townley. Here's Josh Grant.
Not only getting a whole shot, but his very first overall victory at an outdoor national. Josh, congratulations first on that. It's got to be a very exciting feeling for you.
Yeah, you know, it's awesome. I rode really good today, and I was pumped the whole weekend. Saturday was a good day for me. My bike setup was awesome, and I just, you know, I can't thank the Sobe No Fear Samsung Honda team enough. They did, you know, they're great.
Now, a lot of guys are struggling with your starts, and this seems to be an area where you've excelled lately. What is it that you're doing differently for your starts?
I don't know. I practice a lot of starts every week, and, you know, I think I have really good timing, and I guess that's my key. So you start up front, it's easier to finish up front.
Congratulations on a sweet success.
Thank you.
Jeffy's been putting in a lot of hard work in a lot of areas of his program, and it's all coming together.
Well, it definitely is. And after so many years of not winning an overall, finally grabbing that first overall in a national motocross event is a great feeling, and real proud of him today.
Southwick is next here on Speed. You're going to see that real soon. Make sure you join us as we continue to the Motocross Lights Championship season. For Aaron Bates and Jeff Emig, I'm Ralph Shaheen. Congratulations, Josh.